Razabane for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm delighted to have with me once again the notorious PB, Pat Barett. I'm making names up for you every week, Pat.
It's alright, it's good, I like it anyway.
How are we doing?
I'm good, thanks, I'm good, very good.
Last week we were in Manchester. This week in Liverpool, back-to-back shows. We're not stopping on this Oldham next week, but just your assessment on today's show.
You know what? The show was absolutely great. Despite of the couple of mishaps, not having Marcel Braithwaite on the show, Nick Ball on the show, and they really absolutely killed it within selling the show as well. Considering I think it was 7 or 8 fights we had on, the atmosphere was absolutely, again, electric. The show was big, it was massive, the crowd was big. We weren't even letting people in outside, it was that big, you know what I mean? So, what does that tell you?
I was obviously there last week and this week, and I saw the number of crowd. When you see that, do you now get thoughts in your head that you got to start looking for bigger venues?
No, never that, because I don't want to change from what I am, small or shows, grassroots boxing, to try and go into something that I'm not. Do you know what I mean? My feet will firmly always be on the ground. I mainly do this for the lads that I've got in my own gym, and then I've started to work where I accommodate other fighters, and I enjoy working with grassroots boxers, and I prefer to work with kids that are looking for work all the time, that I know are going to be talented. And when people are hearing about that in you know, giving kids opportunity, people are contacting me from all over. We had the Welsh kid on, last week. We had a kid from Leicester, CJ Challenges. You know what I mean? It's absolutely great for me to be given that kind of opportunity. So.
You mentioned obviously Marcel was supposed to be the main event tonight. He said to me he found out early this morning, so he was absolutely devastated when he must have got the news.
I mean, he was devastated, I was devastated, but hey, we can get him on the show next week in Oldham, so it's not all lost, you know what I mean? Things happen for a reason. As long as you don't let it get you to you, don't let it affect you, stay positive, and we'll get it again for next week.
A couple of debutants on the show today. Any particular standouts for you?
Who impressed me a lot was the girl, Becky Ainscough. I liked her because she fought a girl but was very experienced, very tall, very rangy, very awkward, and she dealt with it very calmly, very coolly, very collectively. And I enjoy working with Wayne Smith. I mean, he's got a good set of kids. Even his one that had the debut, what stopped the kid today as well. Michael something, Mickey. I mean, he was a good prospect as well. So yeah.
Wayne's obviously doing a lot for the community himself, and I've heard he's got a great gym here in Liverpool.
Oh, massive! It's beautiful, his gym, and it's good to see that because he's done that himself. He's rebuilt that gym from nothing and made it into what it is. Golden Gloves. I mean, it's a pleasure to work with Wayne. It's an absolute pleasure.
Pat, Zelfa obviously was out a couple of months ago. Kiko Martinez. He's I think he's in 2 of the world governing bodies now, top 15 now. So what's kind of the latest with him? When do we expect him to be kind of back out? He did mention that he's out very soon. An opponent will be announced soon as well. But can you give us any more?
No, it's still the same. It's been confirmed that he'll probably fight on either the early August, like the 20th summit or the 27th. So it'll be like the 21st or the 27th over in Mexico. Not been given an opponent yet. We're just waiting. And then we all know about the Lyndon and Arthur-Yarde return, which I look forward for that. Even though, it's not something that I wanted, it was a backward step. Now I'm looking at, we are WBO Intercontinental. Let's defend this as part of our job as being going forward, the same as we did with the Commonwealth. So, yeah.
I know we spoke about it last week, the Lyndon Arthur and Anthony Yarde. It wasn't announced last week, obviously it got announced earlier this week, but with Anthony due to fight end of August, in the back of your mind, we know what happens sometimes. You go into fights, you get an injury or you get a cut, it can rule you out. So is training going to be full on from the get-go?
Yeah, I mean, look, for us it's on now. And it's not just about physical training, it's about mental training for me. So that fight's on anyway, so, it is what it is.
I know I asked you last week, but do you want to prove a point that the first time wasn't a fluke?
No, it's not about proving the point. I'm separating the first time. I'm forgetting about the first time. We're defending the WBO, okay? We've just defended it against an undefeated fighter called David Ferracci, okay? Now we're defending it again against Arthur-Yarde. I don't look at the last fight. I look at this as the first fight. Yeah, because that's gone now. Yeah, and now we have to work for what's here. Yeah, and then we forget about everything what happened in the past. Let's deal with the present now. So we'll get prepared for this fight as we did the first time, as we did an undefeated fighter, as we did with a lot of respect for who we're fighting. We don't overlook fighters. I'm going to go into this fight with the greatest of respect for Arthur-Yarde. I'm looking at him going to be the most dangerous opponent ever, because if he doesn't beat Lyndon, where does he go? So he's going to throw everything at this fight, and we got to go in there like this is our world title fight. And when we go in there, this is our world title fight. This is how you make yourself become ready for world title fights. So you know, we go in there, and I forget about the first fight. The first fight didn't happen as far as I'm concerned now. It's about this one now. This is the first fight.
Is there a lot more that you can teach Lyndon to do better in the second fight?
Come on now. Yeah, I mean, we learn every day. We learn in every fight. There isn't one fight you see where we do the same thing. You know, we take chances in fights, which a lot of fighters don't. He walked Farachi down, he stayed close to him, he knew, you know, he didn't take a backward step. You know, he walked him down behind defensively, you know, doing something different, what you wouldn't normally see Lyndon. Lyndon didn't really fear David Farachi that much that he was in danger, so he could walk him down. It would be a whole different fight with Arthur-Yarde. It's like when Lyndon boxed Spellman. It was a whole different fight with Spellman. He worked on defence, he worked on moving, he worked on boxing, he worked on putting combinations together, he worked on footwork, he worked on distance. And then when they put it together and then we went in the Arthur-Yarde fight, we'd seen a total different Lyndon from the Spellman fight. So, you know, fighting's about learning for each fight. Anyway, you never fight the same fight the same way. You've always got to be different.
Pat, you're a man of boxing wisdom and knowledge. You've been around a long time. Just want to get your opinion. Obviously announced Anthony Joshua against Alexander Usyk, 2 Olympic gold medalists, a former cruiserweight undisputed champion, the current unified heavyweight champion. Usyk hasn't really impressed. I asked everybody in the game, he hasn't impressed so far. But is he still dangerous for Anthony Joshua?
No, the only thing, it can be dangerous, not dangerous, I mean, it just create a little bit of awkwardness, because what you got to look at with Joshua is a natural heavyweight. He's got power, he's got speed, and if it hits you, you're going to go. And the difference is, you know, he's a cruiserweight. Sometimes people need to be the best at what they're at and where they're at. Don't try and, you know, move to things too quick. And I can't really see him troubling, apart from his awkwardness, his footwork, and, you know, trying to make Joshua miss to open him up. But it's a big risk. Joshua hits you, you're going.
But do you feel like the later the fight goes, is it playing to Usyk's hand?
No, not really, no. I mean, Joshua gets hits off heavyweights. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that timing and speed doesn't make it up for what Usyk can bring, but I'm just slightly tipping the scales for Joshua.
Next week, it's another show. There's no rest for the wicked, as they say. Oldham, what can we expect?
Well, again, I won't predict it. I couldn't have predicted this, what turned out today, and I won't predict any of the shows. I just hope that the atmosphere is electric and the fight fans have a great night, as usual.
I tell you something, when I drove into the venue today, I couldn't move for 5 minutes because there was that many people in the way. I was scared that my car might be used for some of the fans start standing and singing the songs as they were.
No, it was great, and it was peaceful. You know, there was no problems. You know, it was a nice night. It was pleasant, and all the fans and everybody was dead nice. So that's all made up.
Pat Barett, IFL TV. Thank you very much.